I feel like with Dan being in Los Angeles, we need to like switch shit up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think we can start the show off with like maybe some like copyrighted music? I feel like we've got our song, but like we need a more like meme-ified song.
Yeah, to fit with the movie.
So maybe we can get rid of the One Step at a Time song and all the songs in general. Maybe we should just, you know, pony up and get that license.
Rewrite the soundtrack.
I'm sure the rights to Toto by Africa may have gone up a little bit.
Or a Take on Me.
Can't be like that much.
Do we have that in the Take budget?
We might be able to make it work.
Yeah.
We can get Smash Mouth.
They're not doing anything anymore.
Well, we have to do a show. Because we did see Deadpool 2.
We did.
Do we do what the movie did and be super meta about like, you know, us and this review show, or do we just...
breaking the fourth wall and not taking ourselves seriously or being professional or anything?
I didn't think we did that anyways. But, f*** it. Theme song!
Hey now, you're an all-star. Get your game on, go play. Gonna take a lot to drag me away from you.
All right, so as we vaguely said in the introduction, we saw Deadpool 2. If you're not familiar, it's the second or third. Is this the third? Third movie with Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool. He's been Deadpool that many times?
Yeah.
Well, this is the second full outing. I'm gonna read you the plot synopsis from IMDb. This is the Wikipedia page for Bindi Irwin. Hold on. My bad.
We apologize to the Irwin family.
R.I.P. Steve. After surviving a near-fatal bovine attack, a disfigured cafeteria chef, Wade Wilson, struggles to fulfill his dream of becoming Mayberry's hottest bartender while also learning to cope with his lost sense of taste.
Searching to regain his spice for life, as well as a flux capacitor, Wade must battle ninjas, the Yakuza, and a pack of sexually aggressive canines as he journeys around the world to discover the importance of family, friendship, and flavor. Finding a new taste for adventure and earning the coveted coffee mug title of World's Best Lover.
Also starring Guy Fieri.
I must have missed him. Did he play Colossus?
I think so. Because he did say that, you know, we're going to Flavor Town.
Oh, that's right. Okay, that makes sense.
All right, and also, what did you think of Deadpool Deuce? Which is what they should have called it, but...
Or some really like cheesy subtitle like Resurrection or Red Vengeance.
Ooh.
I thought it was pretty good. I mean, the last one seemed like a riff on, you know, just origin movies for superheroes, and this one's, I guess, is the team up.
Yeah.
The first Deadpool was really different. Some of the jokes are funny, but a lot of it is like dated references, and I feel like that's the same with this one. I think it's stronger like from a directorial and like storytelling, but like the humor which really builds the movie, I think is gonna, in a few years, it's not gonna really be good as it is right now.
Yeah, the first one was very small, very contained. It doesn't seem like it was, but it was. It was bad on a shoestring budget for a blockbuster. This one definitely has bigger set pieces for sure. You can definitely tell that a little bit more care went into it. It definitely looks better.
Yeah.
Definitely plays out better. But like you said, the humor is probably the one thing I didn't like about it. If you aren't current or familiar with any other comic book movie, which you probably should be, but...
Or you will be.
You
don't have a
will
choice
be, yeah.
anymore.
If you aren't familiar with those things, you're gonna miss most of the jokes. I can't think of how many Avengers Marvel movie jokes they made. Like when there was one character called him, he's like, "You're my favorite Marvel character."
Make a Thanos joke as Josh Brolin's Thanos.
There's a nice little cameo from all of the X-Men I saw.
Yeah.
If you didn't see Logan, Logan is spoiled.
They throw shade at DC pretty heavily.
So dark. You sure you're not from the DC universe?
It's like, oh, okay, I get what you're doing, but like there was a lot of
Guffaw.
in the theater, but I was not laughing.
They bombard you with jokes to the point where it's like you might laugh at one and you'll miss the next line or next joke because they do not stop.
There's a lot of things I know I missed.
They rely way too much on just, hey, reference. Relies on random humor like, oh, let's combine a swear word with like a food, and that's basically T.J. Miller's character. That's every joke he makes.
Didn't he,
Yeah, I think he threatened to blow people up or something like that.
Yeah, drunkenly on a train. Hey, T.J. Miller, you're not that famous, bro. You can't get away with that shit. If I can't do it, you can't do it.
You don't really know where they're going with a lot of this stuff. I think of like stuff like Family Guy or like the scary movie
Yes.
things where it's just, we have like a sequence here. It will probably not carry to anything else from here, so we can have Deadpool get ripped in half, we can have this people die or these people act this way. And it's because it'll completely change in the next scene.
Yeah. One thing they could have done that they really kind of dropped the ball on is physical humor.
Yeah.
It kind of hasn't really been a big thing since the 90s, but you got a guy who can resurrect himself and he can heal himself. I don't know, it feels like a wasted opportunity.
Yeah, they only did it like once or twice. And I guess kind of the problem is that like they just repeat a joke kind of, but in a different way. When he gets ripped in half in this movie, it's kind of the same sort of deal as like when he loses his hand in the first movie, where it's like, look how funny he is. He's like he's part baby now.
Yeah, baby hand.
Yeah, that's another one of the issues of the thing, when it's just the constant reuse of like material, like the regrowing joke, the music. They open up with the same XXX song that was synonymous with the last movie. Feels like they're trying to hit a lot of the same bullet points. But what I feel like they did do the most variation with, and you mentioned it earlier, was the fight scenes or the action sequences.
Yeah.
Were a lot better in this movie.
Honestly, like, this movie, in those terms, far exceeds the first one.
The director of this is one half of the guys that did John Wick. And you can really tell, like there's a scene very early on where he's got a block of knives and he's using each one of it as well as the block to just kill this whole group of people. I'm like, that's creative and that's...
And remember in the first one, a lot of that action was used for comedic effect.
Yeah.
So, and this one, very little, if any.
That should be a big focus, is you should be able to find visual humor or even comedy and editing. There's a great video about this that Edgar Wright, he's like a master at it. The way you cut stuff and the way shot positioning and stuff like that can just be a joke in itself. Like that works, and that can even work on a level where people don't even realize it.
Also, speaking of comedy, Hollywood, dicks aren't funny. There's a brief dick shot and everyone laughs their ass off in the theater. I'm sick of a dick being used as a joke. That's sexist as f***. Just want to let you know, our dicks aren't funny. They're important. They get It's not 1999 anymore. We can move past the dick jokes. Now it's all about buttholes. Everyone's got a butthole, only half the people have a dick.
Figure it out, Hollywood.
I thought the intro sequence, which was meant to be a ripoff of James Bond, or you have in production with who the cares.
Yeah, right.
Oh, we're being...
You see the words? They're making fun of how normal movies go.
It's a movie that's making fun of the movies, which is fine, but it's the whole thing. The biggest downfall to this is the humor. If they toned it down 20%, I feel like you actually would have a very good comic movie in an era where it's pretty bland.
Yeah.
I mean, when we're recording this, we're still like 2 weeks fresh from Infinity War, and everyone's saying it's the greatest thing ever, but it's only half a movie.
Yeah, basically.
It's its own beast. Glad to see it being able to look on the outside and poke fun, but I feel like it's doing that so much at the expense of the movie.
Yeah, I think so too. I just didn't think any of like the emotional beat stuff really worked, besides for maybe Cable's thing, his backstory. His wife and daughter got murdered by the kid that he's going back in time to kill. I thought that kind of worked, but like any of his scenes where he's talking to his dead girlfriend who dies instantly at the beginning of the movie, I just thought none of that worked. I find it impossible to take this character seriously whatsoever because of the way the comedy works. Any other emotion besides, that was funny, you're not going to get anything because that just towers over everything else in the movie. So
CGI looked
it was rough.
In 2018, we have a problem with bad CGI.
Juggernaut's in the movie, and he's like, along with Colossus, are both entirely CGI characters. There's a huge fight scene that takes place in a moving caravan or a convoy of vehicles where there's tons of effects all over the place. And yeah, it looks worse, especially I thought vehicles. The X-Men's like plane thing or any helicopters or that convoy, they looked really bad.
My biggest problem was with Colossus.
Yeah.
You can just kind of tell, like...
As opposed to the Juggernaut, who just looks like he came from a video game.
I mean, that's not to say that it's not enjoyable. You and I both enjoyed it.
Yeah, I did.
Horacio, who's off camera, he enjoyed it.
If you like the last one, you'll like this, because like we said, it's just more of it, so...
All right, Noah, so what are you going to give this out of how many whatevers?
I think this is out of 5, right?
Yeah.
That's what our scale is. I think I'd give it 3 out of 5. I'm going to give it 3 out of 5 pieces of Deadpool. He gets mutilated horribly throughout the whole movie, and I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. I think I'm going to give it 3 as well, but I'm going to give it 3 cables getting snapped by Thanos.
I don't want to go, Mr. Stark.
Yeah, you don't feel too good. He's coming back next year, everybody. Don't worry. Spider-Man ain't dead. Black Panther ain't dead. The Guardians of the Galaxy ain't dead. Disney's not about to pass up all those billions of dollars.
But Loki fans?
Loki's dead as all you Avengers people that are literally crying on the internet about your favorite characters, don't. The House of Mouse kills nobody. Okay? They won't even let Star Wars die a graceful death. So. Oh boy. All right. So I think that's gonna do it for us here on the Quick Take. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit the f***ing bell.
You don't even know what it means probably, but just do it.
Do it.
Do what we say.
Follow us on Twitter, Instagram. Follow us on Gmail. You can find Horacio in the yellow pages. He appreciates your phone call. We do have Aidan on Grindr now, so we're getting that going.
Swedish youth.
Dan is currently sweeping the streets of LA. So if you're on Hollywood Boulevard and you see a raggedy looking man with a broom sweeping up cigarette butts, tell Dan you say what up. And